actually live? What the hell's going on with me today? I am completely disorganized here. And hi. This is the vibe. This is the vibe that's been going on in my head all week. I got back thing. I have my voice coming in too many different places. So yeah, no plans here, and it's because of time and the stretching of time and not have any time. So why not just press live and try to do the best I can talking about this week's transits, and I'm going to breeze through this one, but just knowing me, you know how it goes. Those sounds that you hear, that's my mind this week. Okay, so let's go back. Yeah, that's my mind this week. I'll show you what else is on my mind this week. You got headphones? Right there for you. Slow down, Nicholas. Slow down. That's it. Slow down. Slow down. So, what's up? I'm blurry. I am out of my mind. I am stretched for time. And I don't know, I have time this week to talk about stuff. So I'm going for it now. And I will run through the transits of this week. Or whatever I see. And yeah, that's it. That's what's up. So I am 3 minutes into the live stream. Okay, see you later. Bye. What's my advice in 3 minutes? Just get it together, okay? Get it together, pay your bills. Don't give a shit about what anybody else says. My astrological advice is to basically tell everybody to, you know, and that'll pretty much solve all your problems. So book a session with me. That's how I'm rolling. You want a 5-minute session with me? You just stare at the camera like, just do this. So... all right, so what's up? What's everybody in chat? What's happening? Alex D in there. Oh, hey, Canada Dry. Thanks for the super chat. I'm raising middle fingers. Start the chat, start the stream. That's a way to get subscribers and followers. And that's my strategy. I could sell you on some political talk or create a debate about vaccine, anti-vax, or whatever people fucking did in the last 5 years using COVID and Trump and the election to get followers. You know what I'm talking about. You just go to their channels. I know you watch some of them. I know you go watch them. They got 50, 80,000 subscribers. They're creating the controversy. Then they're doing a poor me thing. But they got a lot of money rolling in, but it's not enough. It's never enough. There's never enough money. And they just need the people to engage in some sort of debate and fight. And then they carry it over onto Twitter. It's the formula. Or, you know, somehow there's this thing where like, oh, let me get my own Pantone color thing for me, my own profile for my branding, and, you know, just so you differentiate. But if you really think about all that kind of thing, it's like you're actually branding yourself. If you think about what this really is, you're branding yourself. So I'm gonna get a Pantone color customized for me. That means Pantone is on my thing. You ever watch NASCAR and they got the uniforms and they have all the branding? You see what I'm saying? Now, that's what's been happening slowly over the last 5 or 6 years. You just got to go to Astro Twitter, or you just got to go, they're trying to carry that shit over on the threads right now. Just look in the wellness industry, whatever. They're basically using all the tools to brand themselves. And I get it. What's my brand? My brand is Sparkles of Gold. And I'm wearing a Vera's Pizza and Cafe Bar t-shirt that's in Seattle. If you're ever in Seattle, go get pizza. They're not sponsoring the stream. It just happens to be connected to my bloodline. So that's not really a brand. It's actually something that I helped build with my family in another life that I have. So there's not that. So I ain't selling out that way. I mean, I'm on YouTube and I use Instagram and stuff. So there's branding, but I'm not branded by YouTube. So, you're not going to see a fucking Pantone color from me. Custom set. I'm not going to prey on your fears and try to sell you on it. What kind of mood have I been in lately? Let's talk about the transits. I see a couple super chats from Canada Dry. You don't have to do that. I thank you so much for supporting me, for supporting my cultish mission on YouTube, my cult that I'm secretly stirring here, okay, that I'm creating. And you're all in because you promised. Remember, you promised. And I also want to say hi to Anira M. Thank you for the Fly Eagles Fly Love to Us All super chat. I appreciate it. Who would sponsor me? Who would sponsor me? Who would dare? Who would dare? Who would dare sponsor me and want to make me their influencer? If you're watching out there and you're like, who the F is this dude? Come on. Would you dare? Would you dare want to connect with me in my stream, my profile, my branding? Come on, do it. Do it to me on a Pluto, Venus, Mars week with Mercury there today. Right now we got five planetary bodies. 5 planetary bodies in Aquarius, which is going to end in several hours here because the sun's going to go into Pisces. Jagger Waters knows what's up. The Cult of Sparkles. Okay, wait a second. I got to write this down. The Cult of Sparkles. Okay, wait. See, Jagger with the wordplay. Why am I not surprised with you? The Cult of Sparkles. All right. Got that down there. Checks in the mail. So that's how I'm starting off with my madness. Got a lot going on right now in my inner world, whatever else, man. But I will tell you, something is happening, and I'm feeling really good about it. And so, you Aquarians out there and you Aquarius risings, yesterday and today, until about 5 p.m. Pacific tonight, I'm telling you, you want to do an intention, you want to like keep it together, a certain type of focus or vision that you've been already brewing. This is a wild time yesterday and today till about what time? When's the sun going to Pisces? At 8:13 p.m. Pacific. Is rarities like this where you have such a concentration of planets in Aquarius with Pluto in it all, and with Mars and Venus so close. And so this is going to change here when the sun changes up, and you want to use this. I rare moments, and every year for the next 20 years, when we get into this time of the year, whenever the Aquarius birthdays happen, and how things are configured, is Mercury going to be in Aquarius while the sun's there, Venus or Mars? So you don't get this configuration all the time, and you basically want to take advantage of it just from a mindset perspective. If you haven't, if you're already taken past that, that's okay, whatever. But it's like from a just recognition perspective, this is some good stuff. Even if you've tasted tears lately or in the last year with a certain predicament in your world where you actually shed tears. And by the way, Aquarius people, Aquarius whatever, planets and Aquarius, they do shed tears. So let's just get rid of that stupid little meme culture thing about them. So, it's a thing where rarity here. And even if it's challenging the storylines right now, I think you know what's up. And that is the key, is knowing. And I said this on an Instagram story. I was like, you just got to say yes. You got to say yes to the story, because even if no one understands or there's external forces pushing up against you to conform, or to conform to something, like you're changing and rebelling, and they're bringing situations up to keep you in line, in sense, whether they know it or not. The world's doing it, they don't know it or not. You are having to no, I can't do this anymore. I already changed. Sorry, I'm already down the block. I'm already going somewhere else, So this is a good stuff here. And I'm in that zone. I'm in that place. I could say it because I'm living it. And it's why I threw up. That's why I threw up on my appointments page a special reading for Aquarius and Aquarius risings. I'm going to let that price go until probably late Monday night, maybe, depending. But that's it. And I've had some people already book, so I'm ready to work with you. I'm feeling good about it. I'm like, let's do it. I mean, let's talk. Let's use power and knowledge that's in that jug of water that Aquarius holds, and first has to think about what that means in the next year, and then really to set off a story for the next 20 years in the Aquarius part of your chart, Aquarius and Aquarius risings. You're already there with the ideas, and it's just putting it into form, and it just depends on the person and themselves and their individualistic chart, how they're going to do this. And that's why I put the reading, is to talk to them about this. Hey, let's work it out. Let's get some clarity. Because the other part of living in the future, or living 5-10 steps ahead, is no one understands and no one is with you. That means you're walking alone again, which isn't a stranger. You're not a stranger to this, but it's weird when you're walking alone with a bunch of people around you. That's why sometimes the Aquariuses get a bad rap, because people are looking at it like, oh, their head's in the clouds. Or like, are you here with me? Like, are you present? And you're like, yeah, I'm present, but I just got this ability where I'm already a couple steps ahead. So you find yourself alone, even in the crowd. And so that's okay. And depending on where you are in your story about this, if you have accepted that part of yourself, if you are cool with that part of yourself, or you don't know how to do it, maybe because you were conforming and you were doing a certain thing that the world or your community or lover or partners or family, whatever, you were going along with it, but secretly doing things, and you're always kind of the oddball of the bunch, but you're still in the normal place. That's fine if you're cool with it. But if you have the thing inside you where you have to, I gotta go. I gotta go. You're walking out the back door. And some of you are walking out the back door. You're not saying anything. And I ain't going to judge you for that. That's cool. If you feel like you got to do that and no one's going to understand and think you're a cold and heartless air sign, well, doesn't matter. You got to do what you got to do. And there's the lessons to this. And I'm going to bring up a couple things here, because when we deal with Venus and Mars and the conjunction that's going to happen in the middle of this week, it's an interesting day, I think, even though we got a full moon at the end of this week and a couple other things that happen. Wednesday just made my brain pop, not just because of the Venus-Mars conjunction, but because of something that brews up the 24 hours in the beginning of that day. And I'll bust that out here in a second, okay? So that's my little rant to start off with. No Pantone color here. No sponsorship. Who will sponsor me? And let's do this. I'm going to say hi to chat, and then we're going to get going here on the transit. So I want to say hi to everybody. Creepy Kidda, Alex D, and Ahira, Canada Drive Course, thank you. Earth Stara, hello. Jagger, we said hello. Dora Destroy, that's a name. That is a name. Who else do I got here in the chat? Spidey Senses. Medicina Oculta. Yes, Steffi G, good to see you. And Lisa, hi. Lisa says, my mom was an Aquarius and she had been on my mind so much the last couple of days. Give her a shout. Or if that's not a case of that person not being around too, that you can energetically connect. If it's another type of relational situation. And so Angela, good to see you. Luna says, Aquarius rising with 5 fixed planets and feeling just fine. I might just be a frog boiling. Not getting the memo yet. You're not boiling. You're changing. Sometimes changes, just chill. Lily, it says my Venus return is on Tuesday. Whoa, man, you got Venus with Mars and with Pluto. Hello, Sabrina Monarch, wherever you are. How are you? Get love, give love. Hello. Hello to you, JRP Jelly, Amandita, James Sanders. I was just between errands when I got the notification. You turned right around. Careful now, James. Careful. All right, so yeah, I wasn't going to do anything this week. I don't have time this week to possibly make a regular video because I got stuff, but I'm going to do this. So, hey, let's go into the transits of right now and get going, okay? And where is my, where the hell am I here? No. Well, yeah, there. That is right now. And let me pull this shit up. Let's do this. Hey, look at the moon. Gemini. You know, we've had Gemini moon this whole weekend, and connecting off the bat with this Aquarius planets, it's a good thing, but dang, get pretty heady. Some of you are probably ready for a Cancer moon to jump in here. I'm not going to say that. I'm not gonna say that. So let's just point out where the moon is, and let's point out, hi Pluto, and hello Venus. Hi Mars. Mercury speeding along. Hey, not too long yet here. Mercury's gonna maybe it's gonna be a total of 3 weeks in Aquarius because it's changing. It's going into Pisces later this week, and there we are at the last degrees. The last degrees of. I think my mic is hot. I can never tell on this shit. Of Aquarius. All right. End of forecast. End of life. End of the universe. Can we just end the stream and say that? I wish. What's really on my mind? A bigger story? A longer story? The inevitable? We all have the power, I think. We all have the power. We all have our gifts. From the Aquarius point of view, in the air sign point of view, but especially Aquarius, I think one of the gifts there is the antenna that you have. And what you could pick out of the ethers in your mind, walking by yourself or in your participation in the world, whatever group form that is. What have you been picking up? And if you take it from a humanity level, right? Like the big question. Where are we going humanity wise, right? Get this shit. Man, I'm burning hot. I'm wearing this pink today. Where are we going humanity-wise? What does the future hold for us? I think that those who are heavily Aquarius influenced in their charts are picking up on stuff. And you have the biggest worldview of it, and then there's the sub-worlds, the sub-communities and groups. So yeah, there's the walking alone part of it, or leaving groups possibly and walking into a new place. But I think that you have your antenna is picking up on something. And even if you can't formulate it into words, and through colors and sound or visions or however the hell it happens in the mad, beautiful mind of an Aquarius, there's something there. And if you've been trying to formulate it and download it and write about it or whatever, do whatever it takes to just try to piece it together. And I think with Mercury being in Aquarius the last several weeks, all these planets in Aquarius right now, I think it's active and there. And if you haven't been able to pull it out from around you or put your hand in the jug of water of knowledge and pull something out, go for it. And don't feel like you have to do it for anybody else. It's a thing where you just do it for you, for the way you do it, for the only way you can do it, for the anybody else would look at way of like, I would never do that, or how the hell did you come up with that kind of stuff? You're running on that little vibe in electricity form. So start pulling it. Start pulling it here, okay? The longer picture, just say for this year, Jupiter's going to go into Gemini in June. There's a bunch of stuff. We're going to get through the eclipses. We've got that stuff ahead, but it's going to come into play later. And farther down the line, collectively, whether it's in your communities or in groups, something new is happening. Something is brewing. You know it. There's other people who know it. It just hasn't been put into form. Some people are putting the forms out there, but it's not clicking. So it's a lot of the times, and I've talked about this on another stream, about town squares. Whether it's a real town square in a city or virtually, all the way people do town square and participate in town square, even how they walk to get to the town square, the new town square that still hasn't formed yet, it's happening. One has to kind of take care of their own world here first before they eventually make and be called to that new town square. That's where the collective will be. So, that is the thing. And it is not bullshit. It's real. I've talked to other people about this. I've been feeling this for a while. It started to happen when Pluto went in Aquarius last spring. So here we are. It's not just something. Start putting it together. Start making it tangible in your own world first, right? Because something is coming down the line. This is today, and this is what we have. I just sounded like I said something from episode 8, third season of Twin Peaks. The God of Light episode. This is I'm going to pull it up. This is the Cancer Moon. We go into Cancer Moon at 7:24 here tonight. While I do this, we're going by the hour. Let me stop ranting and keep going here. So basically, I'm going to move this calendar until we get to, here's 29. Here's Cancer Moon here. It should be at 0 degrees right here. And if we have noticed at this point here at 8:13 p.m., we see the sun leave Aquarius and go into Pisces, which is starting the hints of the eclipse season. It is coming now our way. And you already know off the bat by looking at this chart here on the screen that Saturn is just waiting. So did we have all these inner body planets move through the gate of Pluto, basically? You could see what's going to happen here eventually. Then now all the planets, Mercury's going to be coming up real quick this week. They're eventually going to go through Saturn. So Pisces birthdays, people have a Saturn return. It's not the easiest. I get it. But there's a lot of work being done from a Saturnian perspective here, and that is coming our way. So that is happening tonight. And we're going to go into tomorrow. And I did make some weird slideshow. I swear I did. In 5 minutes. We're going to go into the next day on February 19th. No, Nicholas, we make this an hour. I keep talking to myself all the time on stream, in bed, in the shower. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself in the car. And I was walking and asking me about what the hell is it like to be Mercury in Gemini. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, just have a thought or two all the fucking time and just constantly going, and it's ramped up by all these Aquarius planets. That's just a normal thing, It's normal. So 1:12 p.m. on Monday, this is something that's already been brewing, but it's exact. And this isn't the exact time, but trust me, it's at 1:12 p.m. Pacific. We have something very important here. And it's the North Node conjunct, or Chiron and Aries conjunct the North Node. We've been in an actual eclipse zone getting ready for the end of March and April here since the end of January. Okay? Here's a major marker point here, is Chiron's exact conjunction with the node. Now, if we go look to the ruler, of Mars, of Aries, it's Mars. And we see what's happening here. Now, if Mars is in Aquarius, Venus is there, they all have Pluto imprint. They all promised. You promised. Ain't going back. No going back. You promised with me on air. You promised me on the live stream. You took the Hermes bait and I led you to the Pluto realm, and it's no going back. Okay, so just stop resisting if you are. You promise, say yes. And here we have Mars and Venus in Aquarius. In a sense, Mars ruling this with the Venus imprint. If we were to take off the top of our head what Aries likes to do and what Mars likes to do in Aquarius, this is pretty much like get out of my way in one way. It's like Aries has to put itself into the world to test itself, to test its will and its courage, and to be involved sword and shield. Now, it is a major wound of how Aries have done this in the past and what they're carrying. You get wounded on the battlefield, people. I mean, as soon as you come out of the womb, you're in the battlefield of the planet Earth, okay? So you get wounded. And those wounds, you do whatever you can to survive and to get through those wounds. Whatever it takes, I ain't judging you. You see people do all types of stuff to get through wounded stuff. But it's kind of hidden and separate. I talked about this. It could be separated. And Chiron and Aries has been doing the story of trying to bring in that separated wound into oneself to heal it, to progress it, to move forward. But a lot of this times it has to do, there's times where it's hidden, and there's times that it's outward and it's forward for everyone to see, just like in general what Aries likes to do. So there is self first here again, and Mars ruling in an Aquarius is not only doing self first, but it's like breaking out, and it's doing it in a way that it never has before. And so in an interesting way, by sign, even though by degree it's not happening, but by sign they're sextiling each other. I like this because it's kind of a preparation mode for the tougher things that happen here when we have the eclipse, especially on the April 8th eclipse that's going to happen. If I'm correct, it's 19 degrees. And Chiron's going to be right there with it too, right? So here we have a moment where there is a different type of separation for Chiron and Aries. And nothing against the South Node in Libra, but sometimes you can't ponder and decide or weigh out options or weigh out everybody else's feelings and shit. Sometimes you just got to do you. There's a lot of selfish do you, what people consider selfish with the transits right now. If you're affected by the Aquarius stuff and you're affected by this Chiron and Aries, it's a type of position move on the chessboard that is like me. And not only by living with my wounds, I need to take care of this. I don't mind showing it outwardly. I don't mind helping other people with it. But no matter what, I don't mind doing the thing of sharing. So you're still self in groups if need be, but you're not like putting yourself at second and third on the list in the group. Sometimes Libra doesn't get this, right? So it's like, for me, that's how I see it. It's like there's some moves being made, even if you're solo, you got to test your will in the world, is the courage. And it doesn't have to be forceful, but sometimes it comes that way with Mars. They need to initiate. There ain't no other way. There ain't no thinking about it. It's just doing. It's initiating, and that's it. Now, if this comes to helping one's wound and that more the integration of wound, more power to you. Use Mars in Aquarius this week. Use Venus in Aquarius of how you blend. It's so fascinating that this is happening this week, the timing, because South Node here in Libra is ruled by this Venus in Aquarius. They should understand. The other parties should understand your stance for yourself and how you need to put yourself out there to take care of yourself, to heal yourself. They should get it. If they don't, run far, far away. So, and you could do this, but don't do me. So anyway, so yeah, that's what's up. A lot of space here. A lot of space needed. All right, so that happens at 1:12 p.m. on the 19th. And then we get into the 20th, which I won't go because the moon will still be in Cancer. I could talk about aspects. The moon will square Chiron, actually. But let's go to the 21st. Let's go to Wednesday because it's such a fundamental day of the week. I think it's bigger than the full moon, honestly. And we will go there. How much time am I in? I'm half an hour. Okay, I'm doing good. Let's go here all the way into the ingress of the moon let's go the moon into Leo. That's no. Why is it? Man, I'm a little frustrated here. Sometimes it's programming. I'm picking Libra. That's why. All right. So here's the 21st. Okay. This is big day. Those for you affected by the Aquarius story, it's a big day. And not only that, I'm going to bring in something else. I'm going to bring in those who had to deal with the Venus retrograde that happened last summer and went into fall. And any of you Leo and Leo risings out there, okay, this is affecting you too. Everything that's been happening in the Aquarius part of people's charts is happening to you, Leos. Okay, so I purposely haven't been talking about you because we talked a lot about you for how many months last year. I think you got enough spotlight. I think you got enough shine, okay? Let's give our cold-hearted, so-called cold-hearted sun and detriment shit of Aquarius, let's give them the light, okay? But I'm going to bring you in here, and I got my reasons, okay? So let's just don't take it so seriously, Leos. So here is the Leo moon. Let's just ingress. Let's just go in to Wednesday at 5:40 a.m. Pacific, and let's go, hi, Leo moon. But let's just do it. Let's do it right off the bat because it's opposite Pluto. So if you are going to take the next steps, then you know that this moon is basically going to oppose everything here in the Aquarius part of the chart. And not only that, through the next 2.5 days after that, it's going to square, the Taurus planets. This is no joke. This is more fixed energy, more squared, and we had a lot of fixed stuff the last couple of years, and it continues. And for those who are Leos, and I'll get to the second what I think about all this, just so you understand, here's Moon Leo, 5:40 a.m. At 7:37 a.m., Moon's going to be officially opposite Pluto, okay? And then we're going to go 12 hours, okay? Let's go 12 hours from here. Let's just pick this time. We're going to see the moon's at 6 degrees. So now we're opposite Venus. It's opposite Mars. And at the end here, not to that same day, but it's going to do the same thing with Mercury. And that it's coming to square this stuff too along the way, like I mentioned. As for polarity points, Leo and Aquarius, we know how Leo runs. Give me the stage. Let me show and express myself. More power to you. Listen, I hyped you guys Leos, man, all fall, all summer last year, right? I was there for you all. I didn't talk so much shit. I talked about the shadowy stuff of just like constantly needing attention and approval from other people and how that can get unbalanced when it has to do with creation, getting lost in creation itself and feeling the energy and spice of life into your head, into your loins, into everything and how you create things. And it's not about the applause. It's not about the boos, but it does turn into that. And it's like, how do you deal with that? How do you just be in yourself and show us the sun and how it functions and the core will and the brightness of who we are individualistically? Okay, so I love y'all Leos. I do. Your Leo risings do. But just remember when things go out of balance. But a lot of times when things go out of balance, you go to the other sign. I'm just that way. I'm going to go to the Aquarius way. Now, Aquarius needs its individualism too, actually. That's what they have in common. It's just how they do it. It's just like here, Aquarius is wanting to bring in something for itself to break off, but it's not just. At times you could think about it being selfish, but a lot of times it isn't. There's a lot of times here where what Aquarius is doing in his lab, and you don't see them, or they seem emotionless, or they're in their own trippy place doing their own thing. It's still Saturnian in the end. They got a system they got in place, and they're focused. They have that in common with Leo, the fixed focus. But what's happening here is, unless there's other configurations in the chart and what could happen when Aquarius is unbalanced, they will not share. They will disappear and find themselves alone, which could be harmful to themselves because they secretly do want to connect, but they feel so much of an outcast, so much in the shadow part of Aquarius that they have to learn from Leo of like, show yourself, show your brightness. So you see, they do have things in common. It's just how they do it. So it's like here, you have this going on, and I think Leo could learn a bunch of stuff here coming out of the retrograde. in general, just some basic stuff. Come on, learn how Aquarius functions. Understand that. Take that into their truth. And maybe take on the thing of like, hey, this isn't just about me. This is about all of us. And Aquarius is in its other way doing the thing of like, I'm doing this thing to synthesize this because I need to be alone. I need to do my authenticity, and y'all aren't going to understand this. And I feel alone. But part of what I'm doing is when I'm making and synthesizing, I want to bring back to you all. I want to bring back into the group, into humanity, into culture, to whatever, except this profound weirdness I run on and this creativity. And so if Leo and Aquarius can merge and they do this dance where they help each other out, you could see the huge benefits of this. But again, you have to gauge in your world if you're affected by this, if you know, what side do you lean towards more? How can you blend the two? And Leo learns from Aquarius and is like, hey, it isn't all about just me. It's all of us, but I still get to be me. And Aquarius is like, I know, me too. We just do it differently. So if you can figure that out in your worlds, and if the community and group can figure this out, and if they can figure this out, this kind of setups when Leo planets are going to be opposite Pluto in the next 20 years, I'm running on hope here with this statement, but can people figure it out? Can they get past the me branding of social media, let's say, and blah, 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 and think about what it is to be as a collective group or force, and whatever you choose to be a group of, or you label your group of, and what you do, and still accept each other's uniqueness and individuality, right? It's like, can you do it? This isn't the first time. We're always trying to do this shit, but I think it's more hyped up now because of where we are in history and where we are with so-called integration and how we interact with each other. I think we're completely unbalanced in my mind. If I look at the majority of the internet and I look at what's been going on, what's happened in 5 years, you know, for the last year and a half, while you're scrolling on your Instagram, your threads, and even on that effed up platform, which is Twitter, get off that stuff, by the way. Why would you want to be on a platform with a known freaky ass racist who is just toxic and has brought toxic people there? Why would you want to do that? You go to where you are feeling no more stresses, no more there's going to be arguments on internet comments, but can we just change the way we do it? Just even that, how we do opposites. Can you do it? But so many people are on a hyped up train and everything's so polarized. If things are going to change politically in the community or whatever, at some point people do have to reach out to each other. Do they accept the differences? Yes. Is there fundamental points where, like, I can never talk to you and what you believe in is a threat to my existence? Yes, I'm not saying get rid of that. But there's a lot of stuff in between of how people do things together. And predominantly, if you think about the internet as a whole and comment sections, it's more weighted on the toxic out of anything now. And I think that people are sick of it. Whether they know it or not, they want something else. It's innate human thing to want something else, and it's in you to want to gravitate towards people and to create things. And if your intention is to be an asshole or to live on the dark side and to manipulate others for effed up reasons, get out of the way. Let some of us creative dreamers, Leo, Aquarius, let some of us come in. Get out of the way. We're going to make our own thing. We don't have to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. My nervous system's shot. My blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you want something more. You're craving it. Anyway, long rant aside, it might seem like a little Leo moon here, but think about this for the next couple years when everything goes into Leo and how it connects to Aquarius. Oppositions, yes. Full moons, new moons, all that kind of stuff. But think about how it could be done. It can be merged. Oppositions can be merged and find the balance. So I'm all about it. I'm all about the rant, and I've been thinking about this all week. And I'm thinking about the managing of the Leo self and what happens and how, in a sense, how can that serve humanity? And how can Aquariuses who have find themselves outcasts, how can they step back in out of the cold and into the warmth, into the light with Leo, and feel like they can be participating and be accepted. The only thing I would be very careful about on the Aquarius end, and this is the story for the next 20 years, is the intense, fixated, sometimes tunnel vision dogma that can come out of a Saturnian-based sign here. And that's part of the Pluto story, to transform some of that in y'all, and even me that is an Aquarius person that have this kind of stuff, that I have to look at that. But inherently, if I'm looking for a guide, I need to take care of me. I say yes to me first, just like Leo does, and I do it in a healthy way. And the step after that is I say yes to the group of people that I'm down with, my crew. And they say yes with me. And we're going to do something. We're going to build something. It's time. So saying that, you have Jupiter here and Uranus on the outside here with transits like this, at least for a little bit. I mean, for the next couple months, we have the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction here. It's at play right now too, and there's something switching and brewing. And as I said in the beginning of the stream, if you feel it on the peripheral, the idea, the inspiration, bring that stuff into your mind and start to mold it. At 11:14 here on the same chart, which is basically, I just filled in the blank here, is we are going to have a Venus-Mars conjunction officially that happens in Aquarius. 11:14 on the 21st, which is really the 22nd for most of the world. Here it is right here, a major ending and beginning of a new Venus and Mars cycle. Can people relating right now find a space? They need space to do this, but can they accept an alternative new way of relating? And this goes back to the rant I just said for the last 2-3 minutes or whatever it was, that there's a seed moment happening here. And the Leo moon just happens to be involved in all this. I mean, it's right there. So it's little old Leo moon that happens once a month. Like, no, actually, it actually means something. The moon, I know, moves fast, but really look at this. For the process that's been happening and the promises that have been happening in the Aquarius thing, this is the real deal. And I love it. It's not perfect. Is it emotional here? Yes, it is. It can be from a Leo moon perspective. But find the merging place. Mars and Venus here aren't just doing a conjunction. They're doing it with Pluto. And they had Mercury along the way as the scout planet to help them out. So you're sitting here and you're looking at this. Whatever download comes to you this week, if you just look at the glyphs of Mars, Venus, Pluto, like I did on this thumbnail, all you got to do is look back at it. Just take a chance. Take a chance in your mind and take a chance in your Aquarius part of your chart. And like, what the hell do I want? What do I want in the future of the Aquarius part of my chart? Not only did I make an underworld promise, can't go back. I'm there right now. But what do I want? Now I have Mars and Venus in play here that I could use. And this is an alternative way of dealing with relationship structures to yourself and with other people. And could it be a little feisty? Yes. Could it be kinky? Definitely. Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? You feel me? What do you want here? And part of something like this, people go to the wayside with stuff like this. What you had. If you know, to go back to the beginning of the stream, if you know in the Aquarius part of your chart that you know you cannot go back, then you're not going back. And some people aren't going to understand, but other people come to you. You will find them. This Mars-Venus thing, I'm not going to look at the effed up side of it. I'm not. For me, I'm looking at it and I'm like, what could be with people, with myself and how I relate to people? What can it be? And I want that. I want it that way. And I'm sending the signal out. I'm not only telling myself and saying yes to myself. I'm putting the signal out. And I'm like, I'll meet you. I'll meet you at that town square down the line, wherever that is. I'll meet you there. not just virtually. You want to think in a physical space down the line, but I'll meet you there. And hey, take all the time and space that you need. I know we're good. I know we're cool. And so when we do meet and we do conjoin, I can't wait to see what crazy stuff that we come up with that is never been touched and never been accessed. And if you take the attitude of that, of what could be, and step out of fear mode for a second and let yourself have that, anything is possible. And not just in you in the Aquarius part of your chart, but with other people too. And it goes back to what I've said this whole stream. Like, isn't that what you want? But it takes goodbyes. It takes Pluto type of goodbyes. It takes letting things go that were so deep that it worked and you have to shed tears over or whatever. But come on, man. I grew up 70s, 80s, 90s. It's funny, before the internet. There used to be a thing, and this comes all the way back from Americana in a way in media. Like 10, 20s, 30s, when silver gelatin highlight crystals in 1800s photographs. Then it got into moving pictures with Muybridge. Edward Muybridge did the first moving pictures. You can look this stuff up. I used to be a photographer, so this is my life. But it's like what people did with image and with movies. And that's why you caught things in the 40s, 50s. And not only that, in sci-fi writing and all that, a lot of what was popular had to do with the future. The day the earth stood still, or aliens showing up. Like the version of the 40s and 50s and 60s, and how this progressed. And even got in the 70s with Star Wars. And we had Star Trek in the 60s and 70s. You can keep going. But the further we went, and once computers kind of came into our world slowly, if you notice, we didn't really talk about the future and envision the future like we did before. The more hopeful, dreamy aesthetic. Was it the more darkness, who knows what's out there as a human? Like, is this alien here to harm us, or are we together? And, sometimes movie and story freaked you out because you didn't know. But a lot of times in those generations, the way they looked at the future and what they came up with the future in mind, for the most part, was always glorious and over the top. Right? It was always some flying machines and flying skateboards and flying cars. I mean, you could go look at all this type of stuff. You go look at, but for some reason, in my opinion, when we got into the 90s, that the future of how we looked at it and how humans created something and then showed the future completely changed, and it almost became darker. And it's like, what happened? What has happened to the wonder of it all? Whatever has happened to the possibility of it all and the hopefulness in that possibility? I'm into hopefulness and possibility. No matter how effed up it is out there, I'm into that. And that's personally for me, I'm saying yes to. I'm like, you know what, this whole week or this whole thing, I know my life's changing. So it's like, is yours in the Aquarius part of your chart? And if I want to catch some people around to do some crazy shit, and in a way that's positive and pushes boundaries creatively and wants something new that's hopeful and wondrous, why the hell not? Why not? Why have something new and whatever be based out of complete and utter conflict and degrading others? It's like, I'm not into it. So it's like, for me, I'm not the only one. I want my future, or what I want to do and how I want to participate, is wonder, expansiveness, taking a risk that way. Come on, Leos, let's do it, the Aquarius says, and vice versa. It's like, let's do it. We could totally kick ass. And in the middle of it all, in the rush of creation, whether you're on the streets or whatever else, it's nice to make out, have a kiss, or it's your family, the crew, your friends, embrace each other. Like, look what we did at this step. Look what we accomplished when no one ever thought. Ain't nothing wrong with being a dreamer. Ain't nothing wrong with living that way with your heart. I'll look at the chat when I'm done. That Leo moon goes into Thursday on the 22nd. It's going to square Jupiter. It's going to trine the North Node. It's gonna trine Chiron. It's going to square Uranus. Again, this Leo moon is just like potent this week, and there it is. You know, it's going to connect with Uranus, and already did the Jupiter. Here's here's the, you know, it's past that. I have it. You look at the 16-degree Chiron there. It's coming. It's connecting. So it moves into late that night at 11:28 Pacific. Then Mercury finally leaves Aquarius. I wouldn't say finally. It breezed through there. You could see here at 29 and 58 minutes, I will go, I'll just go by the hour. I'll do 1 hour here, and we'll just show this. 50 minutes. I got to be done. Here we go. Another chapter now. Mercury goes into Pisces. Mercury goes into... Mercury goes into this place. $11:28 p.m. Thursday the 23rd. Also, if you're hanging around those other places, let's go. Virgo moon on Friday, but let's go to the lunation so I could be done with this. And because I got things I have to do, things I must do, things I will do. What can I do? 4:30 a.m. Pacific. We have the full moon on Saturday on the 24th at 5 degrees. Hey, look it. We got the sun in between Mercury and Saturn. And let me do this here. And we are kind of having the effects now, really. The underlying stuff of the eclipse season is happening. We're entering the zone. It's pretty much a month from the February 21st on the 25th. We're going to have the eclipse, the first eclipse that's going to happen. But we are definitely into the Pisces birthday, still affected by Aquarius stuff, but we will look, and we will take a look here, and part of this full moon is we will take a look at Venus, and there's Jupiter here, because later on that night, on the 24th at 8:01 p.m. Pacific, there's Venus is going to square Jupiter, so we have that fixed square coming on. I'll get into that in a second, but we are looking at the ruler of Pisces, which is Jupiter, and that's why I went there. You know, and you might as well say that Mars is still involved in all this, okay? So you have that. I'm not going to spend too much on this because I'm... so I talked about Jupiter, Mars. Let's do this. And then, yeah. So, you know, remember the details of things. The interesting thing is here is we want to pay attention also to not only this here that I talked about with that, but we want to pay attention to just how communication is happening, because sometimes Mercury and Pisces, it isn't so clear as it would have been in Aquarius, right? So here we have a restricting planet like Saturn here, kind of, they still got to walk through the Saturn gate. And for me, do I say this? I'm looking at the chat for the first time in 20 minutes, and I want to say hi to the twin. So that's what's up. My brain is fried at this point. That's the full moon. That isn't the best explanation. I will say something about all this, though. On February 10th here, and let's just bring this up. Okay, I'm going to edit this. I'm going to show you something that I think it's important to this full moon. And here's February 10th on the outside. It wasn't a full moon, but I want to show you here what Mercury did at 8 degrees in Aquarius in its square Jupiter. So remember, all the Aquarius planets are going to go through squaring Jupiter and squaring Uranus, okay? Mars and Venus are doing it here with this full moon. So there's the 10th when Mercury did it. So if you need to go back and you're affected by the full moon degrees and what was happening, you can go look at where Mercury squared Jupiter was, right? And so then we get back to wherever I was. I will go back to this so I can be done with this. There. And so we're back to this. That is not the same. I'm pissed right now. I'm pissed at myself for effing around. There we go. So here now, I want you to look at where Venus and Mars is. Now they're hitting that place that Mercury and Aquarius was squaring Jupiter. Okay? We want to pay attention to this. It's still the Aquarius story, and we're going to pay attention. You pay attention when Mercury squared Uranus, which we just had a couple days ago. Venus and Mars are eventually going to do this. So they're going through part of the phase here. They're going through Jupiter and Uranus here when it comes to finding an alternative path of doing things, of Venus and Mars. And it's affected the nodes because they're ruling the nodes at this point. I have had enough. But I want to point that out. And I also want to point out here on the 27th, you could see Mars will eventually do that. I'm gonna do this something else now. Enough of this. Enough of that. Enough of this. February 19th, tomorrow, we have Chiron conjunct the North Node. Make chapter markers. I talked about this in the beginning of the stream. Ruled by that Mars and Aquarius. And remember, the South Node is ruled by that Venus and Aquarius. So it's how we do relationships this week and where we stand in our authenticity and our independence and our need to break free. And it actually helps the Chiron North Node deal with their ongoing story. On the 21st, on the Wednesday, I mentioned that the moon's going to enter Leo and then do those amazing aspects where it's opposite Pluto, opposite Venus and Mars later in the day. And then even the next day is going to square Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus. It's February 21st at night into the 22nd that we have the official Venus conjunct Mars in Aquarius at 6 degrees. Let me just say a side note here. Remember what you promised. Go back to my cerebral obsessions video that I did. If you're new here, and go watch the beginning of it. You promised. Own the promise. Take actions with the promise with Venus and Mars here. Say yes to you. Say yes to the story. Say yes to the Pluto story if you haven't already. Don't be afraid of Pluto. Does it suck sometimes? It does. But damn, is it a rush. And if you're lucky enough out there, you got some of this stuff that's hitting your chart, and you got somebody or somebodies or whatever. I don't know. We're talking about Venus Aquarius. It could be like, hey, I got a bunch of friends, and you're like, you're sexually merging with half of your friends just because they're your friends. We're just friends. Or you have a partner, singular partner, and it's a Pluto Mars Venus week. Hey, I hope you've been making use of that. Ain't nothing like doing things a little different, you know? Yeah, shake things up in the bedroom. Maybe it's not in the bedroom. Maybe it's in the laundry room. I don't know. Shake things up. If you're one of those people that could do something like this, you make a promise to yourself. You promised. Is that the right one? No. February 21st. Venus conjunct Mars in Aquarius, 6 degrees. You promised. The 22nd, Mercury is going to enter Pisces, and you creative writers out there, and you got this in your chart, man. This is good stuff. This is good, man. Help my rant here earlier in the stream about the future and what things could be for myself and the participation with community and groups in the world, humanity. Ain't nothing like the Mercury and Pisces to write that stuff down in a story. Just with the right words, with the right flow to inspire us all. See, you got a role in it too, Mercury and Pisces. You do. And when Mercury does by its transit come to hit Saturn, does your voice can get it shut down? Can Saturn like put tape over your mouth? It can, but you know what else it could do? It could write that story. It can construct the story. We need you, Mercury and Pisces. Help us write the future. Help us write the dream, the inspiration through word, through color and sound, however you do it, the magic that you flow there, the poet in all of you. Show us. This week on the 23rd, you see the moon enters Virgo. And the 24th is the full moon at 5 degrees. I didn't do a good job of talking about that. Maybe I'll come up with something this week when I have more time. And that's a wrong date there, the 23rd, by the way. But Venus squares that day. It's part of the full moon, and it officially squares that night at 8:01 p.m. That's it for that slideshow. And that's the promise. The promise. And that is the end of that forecast, which I didn't write any notes on, that I did off the top of my head, and that I noted with a highlighter while I ate Thai food last night alone at a restaurant, inspired by the magnificence of the kitchen and their way of dealing with volume in the restaurant, and how they were all smiling genuinely. And I was the only one in the place eating by myself, and I was cool with it. And I was already planning things out and thinking about my week, my client sessions, I wasn't planning on doing a stream, but I was looking at the week. And I had a good conversation with the waiter. English was his second language, but there was a genuineness there. You know, when you run into people, especially a restaurant with a whole crew, they're all laughing, they're all happy. There is no grumpy, there's no fighting between the cooks. You know, you could tell when you walk into a restaurant. I know this because I grew up that way. I grew up in the restaurant business, working with my family. So you definitely saw us pissed off at each other or happy, whatever. It's a little different. But, you know, we're talking. And at the end of the dinner, I was just thinking about how I come from a family or families where I'm first generation. They speak a different language, and English was their second language. And I'm talking to this whole crew. Some of them knew English, but my waiter, it was tough. I don't know how long he's been in this country, but I'll tell you, there ain't nothing more universal than food and a smile. And that you don't need to speak the same language in that way. That sometimes it's other ways. So it's a reminder of how separated we all might feel, or get caught up on the games on the internet and conflict and what people are thriving on and what's hitting the chemicals in them, along with the chemicals that they're taking. And they're on that path. And then there's the simplicity of running into people, talking to people you might not know in physical space. And they're wanting the same things you do. They just want to be happy with the crew and their family. They got to pay the rent, the mortgage, whatever. And if there's a good meal and smiles and you have your health, at least just for the day, that's what life is really. And when you have some of those things, for the day at least, you could dream and you can wish for better things and you can allow yourself. But take care of the basics, my friends. Things are intense now. The next couple months are going to get intense with eclipses. Make sure you're eating and take care of yourself. Where is home and where do you feel safe? Who are the people that have you back and hear you? Life is actually super simple. And you take care of those things. You could dream. Or you could do those things at the same time. And the person you would think from afar that doesn't look like you, doesn't speak your language, maybe they look like they're grumpy all the time. You have no clue what their story is or where it's standing. But I'll tell you, just go look next time you're walking down the street. People are alone or couples. They're all trying to do the same thing, really. Just trying to find their place and the space to be themselves. And the human story and journey with something like that. So, the clues you've been getting, the certain things of like, where do I go next, or what's going to happen next, the anxiety that you might feel, or the uneasiness, or however deep it goes with not knowing things, not knowing outcomes in your life, it's hard. But it's the simple things a lot of times that can ground you and could at least get you to a place where you're like, I don't have to know everything, but I do know what I want. and I'm open for something else and something new. And I'm going to say yes to that first. And I'm going to do the actions, and I'm going to do the moves for myself to put myself there so I can be open and creative and human and dream and want something better for myself, but for my family, the people that I love, and that stranger walking down the street who seems to be so foreign and has nothing to do with you, but has everything to do with you. You feel me? So think about that this week. I'm going to take a look at the chat, and then I got to sign off. I want to thank everybody joining me for the impromptu thing here. I do want to let everybody know, I said in the beginning of the stream that for my Aquarius and Aquarius risings out there, I have a special reading price that I'm going to put in the link right now in chat that is going to be there till late tomorrow night, Monday or Tuesday morning. And then I'm going to take it down. And I will also show this. Well, that's not it. You know, I just made this up before I went on. I just said say yes. I mean, it just so happens Venus, Mars, and Pluto are there. It's not just saying yes. It's believing. It's committing. Obsessing, if need be, about it. And because that's what I'm doing. I'm obsessing about, like, oh, I need to put myself in that new place. I'm doing it. And it's already happening in my world. So there's that. I also want to say something else here before I leave. I appreciate all of you who dropped in a super chat and donated to the stream today. I'm also going to pull something up here. Let me see here. If I could do this. Yep. We'll put that up here. Here is my Instagram. You can follow me, but something came up today. March 16th, I'll be in Tucson, Arizona for a live podcast, a live studio audience. You can go to my, I'll see if I could do the link here too. You can go to my Instagram and you'll see the post that Lisa Warman did. She also has a profile called Cosme Astrology, and every month they do a forecast, and they invited me to talk about the forecast for April. So most likely we're going to talk about the eclipses and Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. It's going to happen in April. And then maybe we're going to talk about astrology books at the end and what I know about them. Such a cool person who got a hold of me and invited me. So there's a limited ticket. She's got this shop, this place where they do yoga and sound baths and stuff. And they also talk astrology. So I think it will be, I think Lisa and I, possibly Taylor Schulman. Taylor's going to be there maybe, I think, but we'll be on stage and there's tickets. If you're in the Tucson area, come say what's up. Let's meet me in person. Let's say what's up. We could do what I just said on this stream. We could, in physical space and have our senses engaged and, do something. So if you're in the Tucson area, I'm going to be there. I have a little extra time too. I might have 2 or maybe 3 slots open during the whole weekend to do personal one-on-one face-to-face readings. If you feel called to do that, I'll have more details on all of that soon. And and this is in person only. It's not streamed live. I mean, later on you can listen to it, but I will put her profile in the chat, and you can go if you're in the Tucson area, and you can buy a ticket. And I'm promoting myself. So there's Cosme Astrology in the chat. You can go to the links. You'll see her personal Squarespace, and you'll see like podcast ticket, and you can go and do that. Okay, so there's that. I did a live stream earlier this week. I don't know if you all saw it, with my friend Natalie H. We called it, you could see it here, we're love bombing you. We talked about a mystery chart. It was Mary Kay Letourneau, by the way. It was a messed up situation. Long stream. First time I did a dual stream with somebody. I will be doing more of those in the future when I get some time. I want to give you a heads up that possibly in the next 10 to 14 days, I might not be online as much on YouTube, only doing the best that I can. They might be lives on the fly, on my phone, all that kind of stuff. So please understand. And I'm also saying that to my Patreon members. All right. So I promo myself. And it's an hour and 10 minutes, and I think I did good. Thanks, everybody. Let me go say hi to everybody in chat. And let me take a look here. CC99 and Lucifer and Kali Kiki Christ. I don't know how to say your name. Mercury ascending. A lot of you. Kate, and yeah, I'm looking through. I'm sorry if I'm not doing good in chat. Jan or Jan Halverson, and you guys, and Holly, thank you so much for everybody jumping in. If I missed you here on the chat, I apologize. I do look at it later. And yeah, no, that's it. Take care, everybody. I will be doing probably some posts on my IG stories this week talking about the transits. And if I have some time, I might do another, who knows, you know me, I pull another surprise live stream out or pull a video out that's quick. And Lana, thank you. And Lisa, yeah, Jendi. But yeah, and so for those Aquariuses and Aquarius risings, how I started this stream was talking about until 8:05 or something tonight, I would make the intention and focus on what you want and what you want to do. This is a rare configuration for the last day and a half. You take advantage of something like this. You still got the week here with Venus and Mars and all that, but I think you know what I'm saying. Okay, so thanks everybody. No trippy outro today. None of that because I'm not set up for it. But let's pull a card. I'm just going to pull off the stack. Huh. This is from a deck called the Delphic Oracle cards. And it looks like I picked card number 90. Live without sorrow. The man without regret and sorrow is king. While it is prudent to sometimes reflect the past, look what you could have done better. Live for the opportunity that you have, for the things that you can build in the future. Life is beautiful. And you saw me pull on the stack. I didn't know what I was pulling, right? You saw this. Okay, and you've watched this stream, okay? So there you go. Let me finish. For the things you can build in the future, regret of past mistakes, sorrow from loss. If you bathe in such emotions, they can overtake you and ruin your life. All the sages of antiquity have emphasized that the noble is steadfast even in times of loss. It is not prudent to lose oneself in regret and sadness, but train yourself to be calm and focus on making things better in the future, rather than become a slave to the past.